rewrote the message 5 times before sending it. You sent the 3-paragraph text explaining a decision nobody asked about. You left the conversation and replayed it for 3 hours, wondering if you said the wrong thing. And here's what nobody tells you. Every explanation you give makes you slightly easier to control, because the moment you feel the need to justify your existence to someone, you have already handed them power over you. But here's where it becomes freedom. The most dangerous people you will ever encounter never explain themselves. Not because they are cold, not because they are arrogant, because they have decided, at some point, that their life does not require your approval to proceed. And the moment you make that same decision, you become someone that nobody can fully control. Welcome to the Machiavelli laws. Here is who you are about to become. Not a man who stops caring, a man who stops performing. Not a man who goes silent out of fear, a man who goes silent because he no longer needs the room's permission to exist. Powerful people don't justify their path, they walk it. And today we break down the 5 brutal truths that will get you there. Truth 1. Explanation is submission. Someone questions your decision. Your chest tightens. You start talking faster, laying out reasons, providing context, defending the logic nobody asked you to defend. And the more you explain, the more they push back, because they now know something critical. Your confidence depends on their agreement. Here's the reframe. When you feel the urge to explain, that urge is not honesty. It is anxiety, dressed as communication. The powerful man states his position once, clearly, calmly. Then he stops. Not because he doesn't care about the outcome, because he has already decided he doesn't need you to agree with him. Stop explaining. Start becoming untouchable. Truth 2. They don't remember anyway. You spent 45 minutes explaining your life choices to someone at dinner. Why you left that job. Why you took that risk. Why you walked away. You drove home replaying every word, wondering what they thought, checking your phone to see if they responded differently. Here's the truth. They forgot the conversation before they reached their car. People are too occupied with their own inner courtroom to serve as judge in yours. The strange part is that this realization doesn't make you smaller. It makes you lighter. Because if nobody is keeping score, you can finally stop performing. You are not on trial. You only feel that way because you built the courtroom yourself. The moment you stop explaining, you dissolve the courtroom entirely, and you walk out free. Truth 3. Mystery is power. You know someone in your life who says very little, doesn't broadcast their plans, doesn't defend their choices, doesn't post every win, and somehow they carry more weight in the room than people twice as loud. That's not an accident. Mystery forces people to pay attention. When you explain everything, you become readable. Readable becomes predictable. Predictable becomes dismissible. But the man who moves without announcing himself, who acts without seeking permission, who succeeds without needing applause, becomes something people cannot easily ignore. You don't build presence by talking more. You build it by making every word count. Truth 4. Most people already decided. Here is the painful truth underneath all of it. The reason you keep explaining yourself is because you believe one perfect explanation will finally make people understand you. It won't. Most people decided who you are before you ever opened your mouth. They walked in with a version of you already assembled, built from their own assumptions, their own insecurities, their own projections. And here is the line that changes everything. The people demanding explanations were never trying to understand you. They were deciding whether to approve of you. That is a fundamentally different conversation, one you were never going to win by talking more. Watch the man who finally understands this. He stops rewriting his messages. He stops rehearsing his defense. He focuses entirely on the life he is building, not the story others tell about it. That shift is where real power begins. Truth 5. The transformation. Most people spend their entire lives trying to be understood. Powerful people spend their lives trying to understand, and that one shift changes everything. The moment you stop explaining yourself, your attention moves. You stop managing how you appear. You start observing how others actually are. You stop performing for the room. You start reading it. You stop leaking information about yourself. You start collecting it from everyone else. Watch what this looks like in real life. The man who used to over-explain every decision now sits quietly in the meeting and says nothing. But he notices who interrupts, who deflects, who performs confidence they don't actually have. He leaves knowing more about everyone in that room than any of them know about him. That is not passivity. That is precision. Because the moment you stop explaining yourself, you stop being the person under the microscope, and you become the person holding it. Now you understand why explanation weakens you, but knowing this creates a new challenge. Once you stop explaining, people will test you. They will call your silence arrogance. They will pressure you to defend yourself in rooms where you owe nothing, and you must remain completely still. That stillness is not easy to master, which is why in our next video, we go deeper. We break down the silent power of men who never explain themselves, the psychological reason why their silence doesn't just protect them, it commands entire rooms. Subscribe now. That video drops next. The day you stop explaining yourself is not the day you become cold. It is the day you become free. Free from the courtroom you built inside your own mind. Free from approval you were never going to receive anyway. Free from the performance that has been quietly exhausting you for years. The moment you stop needing permission to exist, you become the most dangerous version of yourself. And that version has never once needed to explain a thing.